for something. Yeah, now she better ride.
This is that 70s episode. 70 episodes completed down. Actually filming. But by the time y'all see this will be completed down. Swerve City Podcast. Me and Teasy, X. It's been a long road. Shout out Mike the GOAT for riding with us. You're not here right now, but you're doing some big, great things. But we are here, 70 episodes strong, and we still going strong. Yep. I'm in my LA Rams gear. I'm watching the Rams game right now, so if I get a little jittery and shaky, you know why. Rams, this is a really important game. Please don't let me down. By the time y'all see this, I'm probably be let down. But anyway, Thursday Night Football, we watching it. But we over here with a legend itself, man. A guy that we look up to, probably one of the top guys in the industry doing what we do as far as the media outlets, interviewing, in-person interviewing, multiple Emmy Award winning Chris Van Vliet over here.
Man.
Giving you your roses because, man, you modeled, your model is honestly where we got a lot of inspiration for how we set up the Swerve City Podcast. We see how your content flows, Amen. How you push it out, how much hard work Amen. And hustle you do Amen. On a daily, not a weekly, a daily, if not hourly basis is very inspiring, and we look up to you very much. So we also wanted to return the favor thank you for having me on yours.
Dude, that was a very nice intro. Thank you so much.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better.
You guys are the best. Thank you so much for having me.
No, this is awesome.
And it's not every day I get to sit down with the next AEW World Champion.
Ooh. Yeah, man. Right? We've been calling it, man. It's just,
2024 going to make history. Bro.
Just might as well say it.
That's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm going to say. 2024, we're going to make history. But man, Teasy, what's going on with you, brother?
Man, life's been good for me, man. Feeling good. Life is better. I can't complain, man. You know, one thing I want to tell you guys always: make sure you hit the like button, you comment, and you subscribe to the Swerve City Podcast YouTube channel, man. I always tell you guys, man, metrics and everything is everything. This guy knows my algorithm.
It's very important.
Make sure you guys subscribe, hit the like, hit us up, man. You know what I mean? Make sure you guys also too on Twitter. You know, our man Jamar's doing a great job with that. You know, hit us up with like guests that are outside of just wrestling too. You know what I mean? Guys that, you know, or girls that can come on the podcast and give us some great content. You know what I mean? So
let us know who you want to see.
Let us know who you want to see. We always get like, get such and such. We get that every week. Get us some new,
spice it up.
Spice it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Lisa Ann, when we got Lisa Ann, that was a great one. You know what I mean? Hit us with some different content, you know. But outside of that, man, you know, I want to salute my brother for passing 1 million streams on the Big Pressure record. Shout out to my brother, Syiren on Spotify, man. Seeing my brother and what he's done, you know what I mean? My brother has his varsity jacket. And seeing what he's doing, man, I'm proud of my brother with his music and everything he's going on in my career and everything that he has going on. Shout out to X. Shout out to Sy again. Make sure you guys subscribe, hit everything up. Make sure you hit up TZ's Table as well, the YouTube channel as well for the mental health podcast that I got going on with different people and all sorts of likes. YouTube.com/@TZ's Table. And one day, you know, everybody's asking, my brother will be on the podcast. But why would I put him on first? You guys expect that. My brother will be on. Hopefully you have Van Vliet on there for the mental health podcast one day too as well.
Yeah. So, you know, I need to express and get some things off my chest mental health wise. So yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there in time.
Absolutely in time, brother. So yeah, man, that's it, man. Thank you guys for the support.
Yo, so back to Mr. Chris Van Vliet over, and you are off in LA right now?
Yeah, we live in Orange County. So I moved to LA 3 years ago.
Yes.
And when I met my wife, she was living in Orange County, and that was it. We now live in Orange County. Life's good.
You just had a child?
Just had a little girl.
Girl dad.
God bless you, brother.
Woo! Man.
God bless you, brother. It begins now.
It's the best. She's almost 7 months old. She just started crawling. Oh, it happens so fast. It's crazy.
It's a blink of an eye.
Blink of an eye.
It's the best. I get so emotional when I think about it too. She's the best.
Oh, yeah. I know. We're gonna be.
Why is this on in the background?
It really changes you, man. Like, because I was like, you know, because I had a bunch of knuckleheads, which are boys, by the way, knuckleheads. And you know, with boys, it's like, hey, bro, go sit down, play the game or something.
How many is a bunch, by the way?
A bunch.
You said you had a bunch of knuckleheads.
How many bunches of oaks?
Now let's break this down.
Seven?
Let's break this down. For black folks, it's like a bunch is like 3 for black folks. Sure. A bunch is like 3 for black. 3 and above for black folks. You start, you know, teetering with a bunch. You know what I mean? That's in black folks culture.
All right, in black folks, how much is a couple of?
A couple of?
Yeah. You know,
Two.
I got a couple of kids.
Okay.
A couple of black people. Oh, that's three.
Yeah, okay,
that's three. That's three.
right.
A bunch is four.
You run to the store, give me a couple of.
A couple of is three.
That's not necessarily.
Yeah, a couple of is three. I teetered at a bunch. I had four. I wanted two, but life got it got hectic some nights.
Man.
So congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
on
We've just
baby,
got the
man.
one. We don't have a bunch.
Yeah, man. Please, hey, man. If you had, hey, man. It's good. One is good, brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know
Well,
what I mean?
for now, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I feel you, brother. Yeah, like I just said, some nights it gets hectic, brother.
Okay, what are the things you are anticipating, but what are the things you are like not looking forward to?
Look, there's nothing that can prepare you for becoming a parent. Like,
Nope.
nothing. And you can get all the advice you want from your relatives or from your friends. Nothing can prepare you. And the wildest thing is like, no one also prepares you for like what the day is going to be like going to the hospital and like the whole birth. Like nothing prepares you for that.
Nothing.
Also, no one tells you that when it's time to go, they just like go, all right, well, like, you're good to go. And you're like, well,
Like,
now what?
like, do I have instructions or like,
bro?
Did you read the book?
Oh yeah, of course.
You read the book. Oh,
read the
okay.
book. We got in the car and we didn't know how the car seat worked. So we're putting our 25-hour-old baby into the car seat. And my wife's like, how does this strap work? I'm like, I don't know how it works. So we're sitting in the car, no sleep. I'm pulling up a YouTube video like, what's this model? It's the Vista. What? Okay.
Oh, you had the. Oh, yeah, that's the cheat code, man. The YouTube. You're supposed to struggle. You're supposed to, break parts of it while you're putting it together. You're supposed to lose the screws. You're supposed to get hurt putting it together. You're supposed to go through all that. You're not supposed to know.
Can't you just hold her? Can't you just hold? She's like, you hold the baby while we're driving. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bro, and I gotta say this. You having a baby in 2023. Let me tell you something. They letting them girls out after like one day in the hospital. Like them girls, she ain't even healed yet. All right, guys, tell this discharge. Like, damn, but you
24 hours, we were able to leave. So at the 24-hour mark, we're like, oh, we're good to go.
Yeah.
Like, you
Wow.
sure you don't want to stay longer? We're like, no, I think we're good to go. Yeah.
We couldn't. My youngest, Leah, we couldn't bring her home for 14 days because she got pneumonia.
Oh, man.
on
That's
her- in her
scary.
lung, which is very terrifying. So we could only see her in the NICU. She's had to keep the wires on her and the tubes on her nose so we can go in. Like, we had to go through the scrubbing process, sit down with her. We got a couple hours with her. You can pick her up, but she had to stay attached to the machine and all that stuff, put her back in. And that sucks because she was born on December 17th. So we had to go through Christmas and she had to stay in the machine and stuff through Christmas and New Year's.
Just her birthday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I feel like you were sitting very tall. How can I be as tall as
Well, I'm sitting
you sitting on a phone book or something?
Mr. Videographer has me have to get close to you, and I'm sitting
That's
on the
great.
stump of
Oh,
the
that
seat.
can't-
I don't get to sink in, so I'm right on the wood.
That can't
Pause.
be comfortable.
hey, but at half the time my leg is touching the damn gas. So I'm like, brother, it's not like that, brother.
Isn't it funny, though, that on camera, it always looks different?
Oh yeah.
And you know this from wrestling. Like,
Oh yeah. Framing and blocking.
A backstage wrestling interview, they're like all up on you like this.
Oh yeah. And you got to turn the angle. The angling is
But
what
on
gets
camera,
me.
it looks fine, which is so weird.
I'm like, yeah, you're like, it looks like he's a little distance away. Like, no, I am riding
Yeah.
his hip.
So Swerve. So check this out, right? So this is story time with Teasy, right? So I've met him on different occasions. I've met, I guess, Mr. Van Vliet on different occasions. So let me start from the beginning and I'll get to where we are now. So in 2018, when we go to New Orleans, 18? Yes.
WrestleMania 34.
Yes, so WrestleMania
I
34.
lost count of the numbers.
We're in New Orleans. So at the time, Swerve was still wrestling with the I think he was still Killshot at the time. And we go to the show and he lets me, him, my grandma, we're all at the show, right? So at the time you're with, I think his name Jamil, Blueprint Pro Wrestling. That's
Yes.
who you with at the time.
Yeah.
So you're literally sitting right behind us at the show. He's right behind us at the show. Yeah, he's with what's it? Jamal?
Jamil.
Jamil. So Jamil's hit. Jamil.
Was this the Evolve show? I'm trying to.
It was a cross show
It's
with
the Impact one.
Yeah, it's when you fought. It's when Swerve fought LAX.
Yeah. Me and Willie Mack.
You remember Willie Mack? So he's sitting right behind us,
Mac.
and
I don't even remember.
and Blueprint, the guy from Blueprint introduced me to you, right?
Show.
So then I was like, oh man, he's a cool dude. And at the time, you still on your GOAT run that you are now.
Oh, wow.
So next, I fast forward to this year. So this year, I don't know if you remember, but I'm at Reality at Wrestling. I performed for Culture Inc.
Yeah.
I performed the theme song,
Yeah.
and at the beginning of the show before it happens, look who I see walking is Chris, and I'm like, yo, this dude's on his grind, yo. I'm like, this dude is on planes. I think that's when you interviewed Booker T.
I did, yeah.
But he was literally at the show, and he walks right by me. I'm like, oh, that's Chris, and I'm like, yo, this dude is everywhere. So one thing I want to do, man, is to add, before I lead to my question, is to give you your flowers for the hard work you put in, bro. It's a lot of traveling. It's a lot of getting on planes to get these interviews. It's a lot of, cutting through the fat, as we say, to get this content. And tell us a little bit about your beginning, because I know you went to school for communications. So tell us a little bit about your beginning and what led to this hard work to get to where you're at now.
I've just always been fascinated by the idea of like storytelling, and that's what broadcasting is at its core. And look, when I went to school for communication studies, I'm from Canada, just outside of Toronto. I'm from a town called Pickering, Ontario. I went to school in Waterloo, Ontario, studied communications. Like at that time, YouTube wasn't a thing. Facebook wasn't a thing. None of this was a thing. Like it was, you were on TV or the radio or that was it. Mm-hmm. And for me, that was the goal. It seemed like it was so far off to try to chase that. But I was going to try, and if it didn't work out, at least I could say I tried. And it all came to a head for me. Well, I had the best time at college. I lived with 4 of my best friends. We drank lots of different things and had so much fun, right? But I remember waking up in my senior year, and it just hit me one day like, oh my God, at the end of this year, we're going to graduate, and then we're going to have to go work for the rest of our lives.
How long? Life?
Yeah, forever. Yeah. Like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday for, until you retire. And I'm like, I don't want to go to a job I hate. And that was where it really began, was the idea of like.
So you had the epiphany moment where it's like, I had the same thing.
It was, I don't want to, my goal wasn't, I want to love my job. It was, I don't want to hate my job.
Yep.
And I reached out to every radio station and every TV station in my college town the next day and said, I'm passionate about broadcasting. Can I just come in and see how it's done in the real world? Can I just like volunteer? And I got a bunch of no responses. But this one radio station said, yeah, you can come be like on our street team and hand stuff out at events. I'm like, done. And there was a TV station that was run all by volunteers, like a community station. They said, come on by. And whenever you're free, you can be part of the crew. And that was where it began for me. It was the idea of not wanting to hate my job.
I had the same epiphany. It was like I was like packing the back of a truck at UPS at like 4:30 in the morning. And I'm like 18 years old at the time. And it was just like, I just don't want to be here. I was like, I don't want to pursue something that I don't know what I'm pursuing. You're just doing it, but you don't know what it's at the end.
Yeah.
I like, if I'm going to pursue something, I want to know what I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah.
So like, I just dropped everything. I called my mom. I was like, can I move in and just like, I want to just train to be a pro wrestler. She's like, I'll support you whatever you're doing, as long as you're like not in the streets, you're not doing drugs, you're not like being a menace to society. I know where you're at. Come, please.
Wow.
So like that's, so I had that same moment where just like, I just want to know what I'm going after.
When I graduated from school, I was like, an internship is probably what I need that will then lead to a job. Because how else are you going to get like tape of you being a TV host or a news reporter? So no one was going to give me an internship. So I lied to this little station in Peterborough, Ontario. I said, hey,
it's the good old days, man. Telling lies to get ahead in life.
Lord knows I did it.
Like, we don't do that anymore. We don't do enough of it.
I looked all over the internet to find the email for the general manager at this small station in Peterborough, Ontario, Checks TV. And I said, hey, it's spring break next week. I'm going to be in town. I'd love to just come by and talk about an internship. And they went, well, we don't usually do this, but if you're going to be in town, sure, come on by. So I showed up. He goes, look, you've done some great volunteer stuff. Sure, we'll give you this internship. And I was driving an hour each way. And it was free, obviously, because it was an internship. And I got my old high school job back at the mall. I was working the fish department of a pet store, scooping goldfish and stuff to pay for the gas to get to my internship. And that internship luckily ended up turning into a job, but it was all because I took a chance and told a lie.
Yeah. You want to know what my job was to pay for wrestling training? I worked in a cemetery.
Doing what?
I was just groundskeeper. I was like running, like driving the little gator around, like making sure the plots look nice.
Did anything weird ever happen there?
There was a time, so my mom worked in like the office, so she would like sell the plots and sell the if you had like when to cremate your.
That's a great business, by the way.
Really great business, like
because
literally it's a family business.
Well, I mean, you're never going out of business.
That is a recession-proof business.
It's just like, you're actually looking in the paper like.
Mr. Smith.
You're never out of work.
a bus flipped. Going to be a good Sunday. But yeah, it's like my mom was like selling plots and stuff, and so I would just like ride around. Yeah, but I would like, we need to put some mulch on red mulch. We're switching to red mulch in the front to make the thing. I would do stuff like that. But there was one incident where they buried a plot like the pot or the urn. They put it in a little small plot and they buried it, but it's like a little sarcophagus, small like little plot you're supposed to put it in. My mom goes back to the office, but the urn is sitting right there with the ashes. She's like, "Did we just not bury the person?" So the things are sitting in the office. They never put it in. They just buried an empty like.
Oh man!
Plot.
Wow.
So I had to dig it up. And we had to put it back in, and then that was it.
I thought you were going to say, like, we buried it, and then it showed back up. How did this happen?
Like, why does it keep? It's like, not Annabelle. Like,
yeah,
it's just
seriously.
Like, no, but it was just like, I never saw a body. I never had to, like bury, like, we forgot to embalm him. He's still alive, kicking and punching. And then we had nothing like that.
Wild.
And that's the crazy thing about humble beginnings, right? Speaking of when you first started, because we all have that story. I remember I just graduated high school. I was 17 years old, and I started working at like it's called a store called GFS. It's like a Big Lots, not a Big Lot. Excuse me, a Sam's Club. Excuse me. Everything was sold in bulk. So actually, I still live down the street from that job, my first job, and I got my first check, right? And my check was like $400. I thought I made it. I thought I was like Rick Ross in that picture over there. and
yeah.
I thought I was on. So the first thing that I did was I bought a bunch of audio equipment. And I had no idea what I was doing. And I told my grandma, I was like, I'm going to get into this music thing. I'm going to figure it out. And I bought a whole bunch of equipment. And I had no idea how to set this up, bro. YouTube, for you youngins out there, we had like MySpace. There was like nothing out there at the time for to figure this out. And I'm like, you know what? Like Swerve said,
or if it was like Ask Jeeves, and there'd be like 18 pages.
18 pages. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure out. I bought me a little mic, little trash mic, you put a little shirt over it to rap. And it was bad, bro. And I literally, but like you said, Chris, you had to figure it out. You had to figure out what the course was. So, and during that time, when did the breakthrough come for you? Like after you got your internship, when did the breakthrough happen?
I feel like it's just small incremental ones along the way. Like getting that first volunteer position was like, oh my gosh, I get to be at an actual TV station. This is crazy.
Right.
Then the internship was like, the work that I'm doing is going to be on TV tonight. Like I was 2 weeks into my internship, and I remember the assignment editor handing me a story and going, here's your story for the day. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, who am I shadowing? Because at the time I was going out with one of the reporters every day. They said, you're going to go out with Terry, but this is your story. You're going to be on the 6 o'clock news tonight. I'm an intern, and they're going to put me on the news? This is crazy. So that was a big breakthrough. After that job, I ended up, probably the next really big step up was I got a job on MTV2 Canada, and I picked up my entire life, drove 47 hours, and moved to Vancouver.
Yeah, that's across the entire.
Yeah, that's right north of Seattle.
Yep.
So that was a huge break because that went from news stories in a local town to now I'm interviewing musicians and comedians. I did my first wrestling interview there. That was with Bobby Lashley.
Oh,
2007.
shout out Bobby.
He was the ECW champion at the time.
Bobby is great, man.
Very embarrassing clip of me on YouTube you can check out where I challenged him to the belt. I'm like, would you put that on the line right here, right now, on the roof of City TV? And he's like, I will do that right here, right now. I'm like, oh, okay.
So did you have like one thing I noticed that changed with like reporting and like the styles, like I feel like guys nowadays don't have that reporter voice. Would you like to? Now more people are just more casual. They have like, you hear the energy, you hear the the upbeatness in their voice. Yeah. Do you think like that's a style that's kind of like transition and like change? Because everybody needs to be like real now. It feels like. I
think social media has changed that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that because there wasn't that for so long, the only time people would ever be on camera pre-social media was if you were on the news. And I think that style of like, tonight on the news, this is what the headlines are. That was just a thing that happened.
Touchdown.
I want the guys that like this. That's what I'm saying. I want those voices back.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a funny guy saying.
I want those voices. Like, cause I was like, cause we were shooting a promo at AEW, and they were like, I don't want to sound like an interviewer, like a guy. I want to sound like a guy with the camera running up to you. I'm like, and I was like, it just hit me like that is different.
I was told at MTV too, and I'll never forget this. And it's been something I've carried with me my entire career. They would always say, talk to the camera like you're talking to a friend. And you would never talk to a friend and go, you won't believe this interview that we did with this band. You're going to love it. You would never do that, right? So they would say,
you'd be surprised. There's some people I know in this game. They don't know how to turn it off.
So they would say, talk to the camera like it's a friend, which is such simple advice that is so difficult to take. And I will say it probably took me many, many years to actually nail that down. So that was the long answer to your question, but there's a lot of little wins along the way.
Right.
And it was like one job after another was like slightly leveling up. But I'd say the biggest one was 2010. I moved to the U.S. and I got a job at the CBS station in Cleveland, Ohio as an entertainment reporter. A week into my job, I'm covering the Oscars. I covered the Grammys. I'm interviewing the biggest stars on the planet.
Damn.
That was really leveling up. And that's where I also got access to a lot of pro wrestlers. Really started to grow my YouTube channel there. Like Miz was always in town. Ziggler, I did so many interviews with him.
Yeah.
And then whenever Impact or WWE was in town, I'd add more. And I was just doing these interviews because I loved wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was asking them questions that I genuinely like wanted to know the answers to. And I was like, well, it kind of sucks that the only people that are going to see this are people that are watching Channel 19 on this Thursday at exactly 4:14 p.m.
Right.
So I'm like, I'm going to put these raw interviews, the uncut interviews on my YouTube channel so other fans can check them out. And that's when my YouTube channel started to grow. Because people were like, not only are you getting access to, at that time, Jeff Hardy or Bully Ray or some of these other big names, you're asking them questions I've always wanted to know the answer to.
Yeah.
And that's when things really, for YouTube, started to take off.
So being in that position, so when you're like the intern coming up, do you feel like you have anybody that's around you right now that is like, you see a little bit of you in them and the opportunities that you're like, kind of like, oh, I'm just giving you not the whole plate, but I'm giving you just an appetizer to see what you do with it to come up and possibly just kind of like, you want to see the hunger in them. You don't want to see them just like, oh, you're up here with me. No, you gotta go through the long drives. You gotta like fight and scratch a little bit, but you have a little bit of guidance behind you at the same time. Do you have see anybody like that with you?
I was doing everything myself up until 2-ish years ago, and now I'm super fortunate that not only do I get to be a creator, but because I'm a full-time creator myself, I get to now help other creators be creative.
Yeah.
And that's been so awesome. Like the guy who cuts all my shorts, my vertical videos, like the TikToks and stuff.
Right.
He randomly reached out to me. His name's Troy Blair. He's the best. Not just the best wrestling short editor. He's the best just shorts editor, I think, in the world. He reached out to me and was like, here's a sample of what my work looks like. If you like it, maybe we can work something out. I'm like, damn, like taking the initiative here.
Yeah.
I love that. And I was like, actually, right now I'm good. And then about a week later, I went,
I'm not good.
No, let's see what we can do here. And now he's been part of my team for, about 2 years. I love that initiative. I love there's unfortunately a lot of people now that are just expecting opportunities just to be handed to them.
That was my next thing I was going to get into.
And it's just such a weird thing. Like, here we are sitting down and doing this interview in person. And I love that, right? Nothing beats the interaction of sitting down, shaking someone's hand, looking them in the eye.
Yep.
So many people would just rather click on a Zoom link because it's easier.
No, like, there's no excuse. We did, our last interview was on the opposite side of the country. And now this interview is on, like, completely coast to coast. Yeah. And we made it happen because that's what we do. That's what we want. You know, it's like not impossible.
There's a quote I always come back to, and it's, if you're willing to do what other people aren't willing to do, you're going to get results that other people aren't going to get.
Absolutely.
And I think about that all the time.
And that's why I brought up about the even going when I saw you at the Reality of Wrestling show, is that you're still, even at your level of where you at, winning Emmys and being a legend that you are in the field of what you're doing, you're still doing the groundwork. You're still on the plane. You're still coming here. You're still in Texas, flying your own, coming out and getting that content. And to add to that point of what you're saying is, when the people that stay successful, once they get there, are not afraid of still getting their hands dirty and doing the dirty work. A lot of guys, oh wow, that's bad. A lot of guys.
What was the conversation I had before this game started? What was the conversation I had? I knew we were going to give up one. There it is.
Right over the top.
We give up 2 a game, bro.
So, one thing I noticed about successful people, and I read your article about that too. That was a great article. That piece that was on, I was looking at your website.
Oh, thanks.
About, how people remain successful. How do they think? How are they wired? And the thing that I noticed being around people like Swerve, like you, myself, people that I learn from and watch, is that people aren't still afraid to do the dirty work. People get to a certain level, and then they feel like they don't have to do that stuff no more. And then that's how the game passes them by, because they're not willing to still take that sacrifice and do the work that comes in. And I truly understand now, which I think you'll agree with, is that when you get to a certain point, that's really when the work begins.
Oh yeah.
Now you're setting the standard.
You got to remain hungry too. Like, as both of you guys know, there's no end goal with any of this, right? It's not about like writing a certain song, recording a certain song, or winning a championship, or getting a certain guest, or whatever it is. It's just like that's one step along the journey, but it keeps going.
Yeah. And
especially with content, like I'm putting out 2 episodes a week, every week, no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what's going on in the world. They're 95% in-person interviews, but it's a job, right? Yeah. And if a company was hiring me to do this and I didn't feel like putting out an episode that week, I would probably be fired. So I'm treating this like it is a job, but I'm treating it like Chris Van Vliet is the business. Like,
yes,
Insight with Chris Van Vliet is my business. And I'm saying to my audience, I'm going to show up for you every Tuesday and every Thursday and sometimes Fridays. And because I've been so consistent with that, they're starting to show up too. But you got to do it. You got to keep doing it. Like, flying around the country is not easy nor cheap, especially when you have a kid. Dude, I have all these credit cards where it's like, if you sign up, you get 50,000 bonus miles, which is like 2 free flights on American. So if I open my wallet up right now, I have 4 American Airlines credit cards and like 310,000 loyalty points that I just keep using for flights. Because there's so many people online that would rather make an excuse, right?
Oh, of course.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger says you can get results, or you can have results, or you can have excuses. You can have both. And there's a lot of people that are like, well, it must be nice to be able to have the money to fly around. Oh, yeah, really? Or you open up these credit cards, make one purchase, and you get 60,000 bonus miles, or whatever the case happens to be.
Right.
I have worked those systems to a T.
Now I'm hoping this is why we have these kind of conversations, because maybe there is somebody that wants to be the next Chris Van Vliet, and they can't figure out how to get these places, how to get to this, or maybe not even doing exactly what we do or what you're doing in this career field, but they just need to, what they're trying to do requires having to get somewhere, and they can't figure out how to get there. Yeah. There's only one thing stopping me, getting from here to there. How do I do that? This is like a cheat code that you're cracking and giving, like you're opening up the world a little bit, like a different side of the manual in the book that we haven't gotten to getting to there. So like, there's not excuses. There's information out there, man.
Find someone who's been there and ask for directions.
Yeah.
Like, that's all it is. Like, maybe they're at step 76 in the process and you're at step 3. Well, reverse engineer 75, 74, 73, all the way back to where you're at. And I love that we're talking about this hustle in all the different aspects that we focus on in our own lives. Because I think, especially with social media, you just see the finished product so often.
Oh, how many times do I say? I've been talking to y'all about episode 70. We're on 70. I've been saying this since episode 1. I've been saying the same thing. And I think we've had like, out of 70 guests, we've had like 40 come and say the same thing. Everybody wants results first.
Yeah.
Everybody looks at the results first, and they don't understand. It's like it's easy to criticize anything along the way. It's easy. It's easy to like say like you shouldn't be doing this. This is the wrong thing. You're going this route. Like, but when you got the results and you finally land at the end of the journey, now it's like the everybody starts seeing the vision a little bit more. Like, no, the vision was already there.
Yeah, like the overnight successes that take 15 years to happen, right? Even like with your wrestling career, there's a lot of people that are just finding out about you now.
Yeah.
And you're
15 years.
Come on, man. Yeah.
15 years. I wore a mask for 2 of them.
Like I've had so many people be like, I love how much success you're having right now. And it's like, yeah, I started in 2005.
Yeah. Oh, wait, man. Like,
it's been a long journey, bro.
It's been a long journey, but we never stopped. And like,
yeah,
like I said, my new thing that I've been saying now is like, no, don't stop working. You can slow down, you can speed up, but you don't stop.
Yeah.
The workload may not always be as consistent. You may not get all the traction that you're used to getting, and there's maybe a slow season, but you still don't stop. You find a way to keep going. You go fast, you go slow. You can delegate the work to somebody else. You can pick up and do all the work, but you just don't stop working. Yeah. That's when you fall off, and that's where somebody else replaces you and moves up the ladder. Because there's always, I always feel like I'm in competition every time.
Yeah. Not
necessarily competing, but I always feel like somebody else is trying to get this. Mm-hmm. How do I get a leg up on getting that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, especially in the space of the way the industry is now. And think about it where you're at, Chris, like you being at the top level of where you're at and doing it, independently on your way up from your grind. You now see a lot of wrestling-based content in what you do. I mean, you interview other people outside of wrestling, but sticking to the wrestling real quick.
Sure.
Just seeing, the landscape of where podcasting and broadcasting is with wrestling, where it's kind of like shock content or, the thing I love about your content is that it's positive. All of it is positive, and you give the guests a chance to tell their story, and you're not in it for yourself. You're in it for the service of your guest, which makes your content absolutely incredible because watching your content, you could tell that you care about who you're speaking to. You do your homework, but you also are not in it to get your, as they say, your shit in. You know what I mean? You're in it to spotlight the guest. Was that something you always took notice of, especially in the wrestling? I'm speaking strictly in the wrestling space and the way podcasts are. Or, what's your approach being in a wrestling space when you're doing your interviews?
Well, look, wrestling fans are at the exact same time the best fans in the world and also the most toxic fans in the world.
Baby.
Right. And I just don't want to focus on the negative. Like there's always, in every situation in life, there's always a positive, and what's right and what's wrong is always available.
I've been waiting to get to this part of the conversation.
And I would always rather focus on the positive. And the best interviewers don't try to steal the spotlight. Amen. The best interviewers work as a catalyst to help you tell your story. Mm-hmm. So I like to use the 80-20 rule, especially when it comes to interviewing. If I'm talking about 20% of the time and my guest is talking about 80% of the time, that's a good conversation.
That's a good ratio.
Yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
And I want my guests to come on and to be able to share great stories. And I'm not trying to pull these gotcha moments with them. I'm not looking for a headline. I'm not trying to create controversy. I want to hear about their struggles and where they're at. And hopefully through their stories, it can inspire someone who's listening to chase after whatever their dream happens to be.
Mm-hmm. So you don't find yourself listening to a lot of content these days? We can just be honest.
I don't listen to wrestling podcasts, and I know that that's not going to be something that people are going to want to hear. But
They'll be all right.
I'm really inspired by other interview shows. Like I listen to a show all the time called Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. He does an amazing job.
Yeah, I need to cleanse my palate and get into that.
I listen to Joe Rogan when he has guests that I'm like interested in.
Right. I don't feel like listening to 4 hours though. It's like
I break it up over like 5 different car journeys, wherever like to the grocery store and back. That's like 20 minutes or whatever. I don't know. I listen
It's a series now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I listen to School of Greatness with Lewis Howes. Like I'm inspired by hearing.
I need to get some.
I'll send them all.
Yeah,
to you.
I need to get some new stuff because I'm getting
Modern
rot.
Wisdom.
I'm getting brain rot right now from
Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson. He has fantastic guests and he shoots these cinematic looking podcasts that I'm very inspired by. That's the stuff that really inspires me.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that there aren't great wrestling podcasts out there. There's plenty of great wrestling podcasts out there. But I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And yeah, I want to just keep doing what I'm doing.
Stick to what you're doing, bro, because it's working for you. Like
it's building too.
And absolutely it's building. Like me and Swerve said, we watch a lot of what you do because you're at a great level, top level of what you're doing. And just the way that your content always has been, it's always been positive. It's always been resourceful. And, I got better with broadcasting once I stopped watching wrestling podcasts. I got better because I didn't want my content to be that. Yeah. So when we did our podcast, I made sure I just did my research on the guests and what they're doing, but I didn't keep a loop on what everybody else is saying.
That's what's bothering me about the content out
Go ahead, so get this
off. You know what? I'm going to pop a drink for this one. Because,
citrus clarity.
We on the F3 energy over here.
Sit in that rocking chair talking about.
F3 energy drink right here. Oh, God damn it. Okay. So, F3 energy over here. Chris Van Vliet, talk about this one right here. Yeah, what about drinking? What am I putting in my mouth?
If you go to f3energy.com and you use the code CVV, you will get 15% off.
I love you, Swerve.
It's good, clean ingredients. My friend Harrison Rogers started the company. He also started the United Fight League, which is the only MMA league, I believe, that pays their fighters a salary share of a revenue share, and provides their fighters with medical benefits.
Incredible.
Especially when you're going into the cage and getting your face punched in, they're giving you medical benefits. Cheers, by the way.
Cheers.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get it. Anyway, I'm tired of hearing these content people who are posting whatever PLE, whatever pay-per-view review or weekly reviews, and they don't watch the content, or what they're saying on the content is wrong. Like, you can't say so-and-so, man, they didn't even have this in the match. Yes, they did. What are you talking about? Man, they don't even promote this. They had no commercial in this. How am I supposed to know about that? They didn't teach me. Yes, they did. You just didn't watch. Or you're going on doing reviews and talking about other content, other shows and all that, and all you're doing is your only research is Twitter clips or GIFs. So y'all see that, and y'all just judge the whole match, the whole segments, and y'all don't do your research. That's like Stephen A. Smith watching 2 quarters of a basketball game and then going on First Take and saying, homie had a bad game. No, he didn't. He came back and dropped 30 in the 4th quarter. How do you not know that? Why are you not reporting that? Because you didn't watch it. So that's my issue is people, and this is getting bad too. It's just getting so bad. Do your research. I listen to everybody. I don't let you know that I'm listening, but I listen to everybody. And that's why I need to have this guy come in here and tell me some new information.
I will cleanse your palate.
Cleanse my palate and get this brain bullshit rot out of my freaking head and go listen to some educated people that do some damn research and are trying to spread more knowledge to the world. Because I'm listening to people that are just saying some dog shit that doesn't make any sense. They're getting it wrong. They're misquoting. They don't even know the name of the moves. They're saying somebody signed the contract. No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Here's the problem with podcasting is the barrier of entry is so low. So the good thing about it, the best thing about podcasting is anybody can do it. And the worst thing about podcasting
is anybody can do it.
Anybody can do it. And
God, you preaching my language, brother.
My biggest thing is that a lot of followers means quality. No No, it doesn't. A lot of subscribers and a lot like this got X amount of thousands of listens, but they didn't talk about anything and it wasn't good. And all they did was just say negative things. That's not quality.
Could you imagine someone reviewing a film and they fast forwarded through 40 minutes of the film?
That happens. That happens. And they go and review the movie. Some people I've listened, like that's not even just talking about wrestling. This is just talking about content creators. I've seen people review a movie that they fell asleep on. Why did you go review?
Is that their review? I fell asleep on
I missed the one part, but yeah, I don't even there's that happened on Friday. I don't watch Friday shows, so you got to tell me on Wednesdays. I only watch Wednesdays. Watch Friday too. What? That's your job. That's literally your job. But you want us to subscribe to you and give you money, give you listens, give you views, and share your when you're getting it wrong, you're not even watching it. Like, how is that a fair trade?
It's not. And that's I also review movies. I'm part of the Critics' Choice Association. I vote on the Critics' Choice Awards every year. So many of the studios, almost all of them, want you to see it in a theater for
this
exactly
is also true.
What you're talking about.
This is also true. Not like watching it while you're distracted on the road driving to the, freaking 7-Eleven.
Like how we're watching the Rams game right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not a reviewer. If I had to review this game, first off, the only review I would give is our secondary needs to go. Because the last 3 games I've watched the last 3 weeks, we've given up like just 30, 40-yard touchdowns over our heads. Odell Beckham's putting double moves on us in the year 11 with 3 ACL tears. I don't know how we can't chase that man. Anyways, it's like, so I'm at least like, if I was to be a reviewer or get paid to do this job, I'd be like, okay, let's do this at 7 so we can be done by 8 so I can watch the game and take notes. People are not taking notes. People are like going in here watching this, going downstairs, playing with their dog, go back outside, change the baby, come back in. It's the second quarter, and then they want to do a review.
There's
Amazing.
a touchdown.
I'll take that all day. But then, or they'll just watch like the ESPN highlights, and then that's the review. I'm like, no.
And look, I to be fair, I get that there's a lot of wrestling, right? It's almost
It's
every
a
day.
lot.
I get it. It's a lot. And if you were to watch all of the shows, it's a lot. Mm-hmm. But the fact that most people are getting their wrestling from, like you said, GIFs and Twitter clips doesn't tell the full story.
No.
And wrestling is all about the story.
But the narrative is there's no storytelling. I'm like, yes, there is. You're just not watching it. Just because you're used to, okay, that's another part of the job too. Dissecting different arts of storytelling. That's also another part of your job, dissecting it and analyzing it. Not say like, yes, they do how they do it. We do how we do it. Tell the audience who doesn't watch this what they're watching, what they should be looking for. Not saying, oh, they don't do it that way. They're not supposed to. They don't do it this way. They're not supposed to. Yeah. That's the point of alternative. I don't expect Paramount to do the same thing that A24 does.
I think we have to go. There's nothing wrong with going back to the old school days. If you haven't have certain qualifications before you're able to be credited to do this. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that some people cannot come out of the woodworks and have great content. That may not have to, because I went for my associates. You got your master's in communication?
I dropped out of the master's program, but no, just bachelor. Yeah,
bachelor. Gotcha. I'm like this close to my, so I'm like right there to my associates.
And by the way, quick story. I dropped out because I got a job.
Well, you won in the end.
I got a Bachelor of Arts degree, and then I went to postgraduate school, and I quit after 4 days.
At least you got the entry.
Exactly. You did the work, right?
No, I got
they're on red carpets.
I got the 4-year degree, and then I quit the other one after 4 days.
Right.
You got the prerequisites. You learned communications. You did I'm pretty sure you did the public speaking classes.
Oh, yeah.
And you did all that. Like I had to. You did the same thing.
There's probably people that say like, I listened to like 18 hours of Chris Van Vliet. I think I'm going to do this. That's their degree.
Right. Right.
That's happening out there right now.
Oh.
It's like, I just saw that interview with Swerve. You know what? Hey, Mom, can I get a mic? Like it doesn't.
Meatloaf.
It doesn't. Like I just think that they need to raise the standards of interview. Like, let me ask you a question. Now this is for you to get something off your chest, my brother.
Boy.
Oh, brother.
What is a pet peeve to you about interviewing? What is something where you just watch, you be like, God, I can't stand this.
Oh, it's people that don't listen. That's so
Ooh.
simple. It's people that ask a question and then they don't actually listen to the response of the question that they asked because all they're doing is thinking ahead to what the next question is. And Larry King said it best. He said, I never learned anything while I was talking. And the idea there is that you ask a question, you're engaged in the conversation, you're able to follow it. If they veer off to the left, you're able to veer off to the left with them.
Okay.
But there's so many people, and I'm sure you've had this 1,000 times in the interviews you've done, where they ask a question and then they go, okay, great. So who is your favorite opponent?
I'm like,
Oh, you sound like me.
this is all the stuff he was warning me about. He's like,
It's not listening. That is, and I know it's a difficult skill to master too. Like everybody thinks, oh, interviewing is so easy. That's why I'm going to start a podcast.
no.
Interviewing is a skill that needs to be learned and then mastered. And it's difficult because you, first of all, have to do all of the research to figure out what is this person all about. And if they start talking about this thing that happened 17 years ago, I need to at least know a little bit about that so I can follow them down that path. And it's about phrasing questions in a way that like get a different response than what they've normally gotten from the other interviews that they've got. But that's for sure my biggest pet peeve.
Here's the thing that I always say that my mentors told me. If you're in this broadcasting game to be a star and do your own thing, then don't have guests on. And just talk to the camera yourself.
Sure. Yeah.
I never heard that one.
If you want to just be a star and you want to get your stuff in and you want to just talk to the camera, set up a webcam and talk to the people yourself. But if you're doing interviews, it's selfless. It's not about you.
Yeah.
And it's about giving as much information and giving as much stage to your guests so that you can give them the platform to promote themselves.
Yeah.
And then you be the catalyst to make sure that they're the star of the situation. My pet peeve is that these interviews nowadays, the interviewer's trying to be the star over the person that's sitting in the chair that's supposed to be giving the information.
Just get a desk and just Vince Russo your shit.
It's like you said, the 80-20 thing. It's supposed to be... I caught that. That was hilarious. It's supposed to be, like you said, the 80-20 thing. And my pet peeve is watching interviews, and I'm like, yo, why is he trying to be his...
Oh, man.
Why is he trying to be the star compared to the guest? You have damn Jay-Z sitting right here, and because you got Jay sitting here, you trying to get your... No, this is about Jay-Z, bro.
You know what the worst is when they start to tell a story, and like, so instead of just asking a question, they'll be like, so Swerve, that match you had at Full Gear. So that week I was in Los Angeles, and so my friends and I,
God, I love Chris.
my friends and I, we went out, and the craziest thing, we were out, and because AEW was in town, right? And they're telling you this story. It's like, ask the question. Ask the question.
I mean, also like, is there a question in any of this?
That's pet peeve 1B. Then is people that try to make it too much. People that, number one, don't listen, but they try to make it too much about themselves.
That's
why I changed the name of my show. It used to be called the Chris Van Vliet Show because I didn't know what to call it. And at 2.5, almost 3 years ago, I changed it to Insight with Chris Van Vliet because it was never about me. And calling it the Chris Van Vliet Show didn't make sense because the show was always about my guests. Sure, I was the common thread that I was the person hosting the show and doing the interviews, but the show was never about me.
Well, it also sounds like a sitcom.
The Chris Van Vliet Show.
Yeah, like
a
Dick Van
sitcom
Dyke.
no one would watch. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, he's about to do some comedy when I hear this.
Also, if you don't know who I am or you don't know how to pronounce my last name and you're just looking at it on your phone, you're like, the Chris Van Vliet Show. Well, I'm not listening to
Vliet,
that.
Yeah. What are would you say are the politics in this realm? Would you say that like you feel like you have to go through, or it's just a name of the game? Would you say, especially with like getting guests, and the higher up you go with getting guests, like getting through those, publicists and
It's speaking just about wrestling. It's going through the channels you need to go through, whether that's AEW or WWE or TNA. It's figuring out, it's also proving yourself, right? It's all about bringing value. And I think that that's a really important thing here is what value can you bring because your guest is giving you their time, their precious time that they'll never get back. What can you give to them in exchange? So
We were just talking about this before we started recording. Me and Swerve were downstairs just talking about this.
Just brought this up.
So I'm always looking at it like, what can I do for you as an individual or you as a company? What can I do? What value can I bring to you? And it's funny. I saw John Cena on the red carpet of the Iron Claw last Monday, and we'd been going back and forth about setting up an interview. And I was like, could we make it happen while you're in town for the Iron Claw? And he texted me back. He's like, my schedule's so tight. I'm literally just coming in for the movie and then leaving. I saw him on the red carpet. And the first thing he says to me is, what can I do for you? I'm like, wow. I'm like, it's just good to see you. Like, he's like, I know we talked about doing something that can't happen on this trip, but I have a few minutes right now. How can I help you? And I'm like, wow, the level that he's at, and he's going, how can I help you? And I think more people need to lead with that. What can I do for you? Rather than, what can you do for me?
Take from me. Yeah.
Because,
like, here, come help. Yeah.
Because that's what it's so often like, can you be a guest on my show? Like, that's what the approach is from other people most of the time. Instead, I like to present it with, here's all the things, here's what I can help you with. Does that work for you? And how can I help you?
Okay. That's beautiful. And that's also a good reputation to have and to spread out. Because, John's going to speak about, like, oh, this is a good guy of mine. Oh, like, yeah, he's good. He's good. That spreads it honestly spreads your reputation.
I hope so.
Like, in the best way.
So John will be on the show soon, hopefully.
You had John before, though, right?
We've done 4 interviews together.
See, y'all good.
But never I've never had him for an hour. I've never had him in the studio.
My dog said, I need more. You know what I mean?
I need more.
I need more.
I'm like, you got me 4 times.
4 minutes is cool, but I need
more.
an hour sitcom, brother.
I need the grip, the full 100 grip.
I did an interview with him WrestleMania 35 weekend. It was the only interview he did the whole weekend. And he's like, I've got 10 minutes. I'm done with this one. I'm done with my workout, and then I got to go to an autograph signing. But I have 10 minutes. Meet me at the gym. And by the way, I met him at the gym, and I texted him. I'm like, I'm here. And he goes, I can't see you, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm like, he used his own joke. That's great. I can't see you.
That's John.
So 10 minutes.
Get it?
Get it?
We do 10 minutes. I go to wrap it up, and he reaches in his phone or reaches in his pocket, grabs his phone. He goes, yeah, we still got more time. Let's keep going.
He's done that before. Oh, there's your guy.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, I'm like, I'm super appreciative of your time. I want to get you out of here. He's like, hold on. One more question. Yeah. One more. I'm like, wow.
He's done that at the PC before. He was like, okay. Well, there was like a line out the door of like people he was going to meet with. Have get your one-on-one time.
Yeah.
And he was just like, I'm going to get nine people. I'm going to get you all in this room together.
Wow.
Boom. Close the door. He was like, I got like 30 more minutes left. Ask away. So, but it was like good 60, 70 people lined up in the PC to like just out the door.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And he's just like, I don't want to like, he didn't want to waste anybody else's time or just want to feel like, oh, I had my moment, but I never got it. So he just gave everybody like just 9, 10 people 5 minutes each.
Wow. And that's
in a room.
The reason he's in the position that he's in
Yeah.
is because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Oh man. It's just, I'm wondering if we're going to get that again in the next 10 years.
Another John Cena?
Yeah. And and I'm not talking about just talent or machine, because that, like, you can make that, like, but you can't create what he entails. Like, all those extra little things, like, you can't make that.
And what's funny is I don't think we appreciated it until John Cena was gone.
Yeah.
Right? Because every time that he would go away for a little bit and he would return, he would be greeted with, John Cena sucks. Mm-hmm. Now when he comes out, it's
love.
It's all love.
It's love.
It's all love. And it's that idea of like he needed to go away for everybody to appreciate him.
That's usually how the game works, though.
He was being shoved down everybody's throats for a long time. And then Roman was being shoved down everybody's throats for a long time.
But then it went away.
People are starting to appreciate Roman now, too.
Mm-hmm.
People are starting to appreciate John Cena. I don't know. I don't know if there'll ever be. Look, there'll never be another John Cena.
No.
But I don't know if there'll be another person at that level like John or like The Rock. I see a lot of similarities between those two.
That's tough to fill. And I was listening to somebody earlier today, and they were like, is a John Cena or The Rock a Hogan in the 90s? And I'm like, that's a tough one too. That's a tough one to replicate as well, because it's also about time, era, what was going on in society, media.
Timing, man.
Like 90s was just a different animal compared to 2000s. Like early 2000s was great, but like 90s was just on the pinnacle of just media, music, movies, wrestling, television, like all of it, like theater. Like all of it was just hitting at a high level because we hit the new age. And big screen TV and all that stuff was just like
and like the advent of the internet really changed everything.
Compact discs, all that stuff. It was just like it's a different era and a different time.
Yeah.
And one thing that I will say too, even in relation sort of to what you're saying about the wrestling business, or even with podcasting or broadcasting, is that no idea is original anymore because everything's being done. Has been done and rehashed 15 million times. To the point where, with content coming out every single day, people reinventing now what I think people are missing, whether it's in wrestling or with broadcasting or anything in relation to what we're talking about. Even with sports or something, people are lacking that connection, which why people get or so questioning, understanding why certain people make it or why certain people don't make it is because they don't have that human connection with their audience. They don't have that connection. Like when you come out Swerve and that music hits, there's a connection that the people have with you, whether it is the dance or whether it's you and you're wrestling or whatever, or the song or whatever. There's a connection to you.
Yeah.
So all those things around, and you deliver in the ring. So all those things around it relate to why people love the Swerve Strickland brand in wrestling. You being an interviewer, you have a direct kind of style to where people can connect with you in what you're doing. They feel what you're saying, when you're interviewing people. So they have a connection with the Chris Van Vliet brand because they know how they say, wow, when this guy's doing his interviews, I have a connection with him. And these are questions that I would ask.
Do you know what your connection, do you think what your audience would be if you had to guess?
Yeah, that's a great question.
What I try to do, I think my goal is that I try to put the audience in my shoes, because I know not everybody that's listening is going to get to sit down with The Rock or John Cena, or I just interviewed Julia Roberts 2 weeks ago, or Ethan Hawke.
Oh, that's a hot car.
Hold up. Wait. Can we restart the episode that we just had this man just in the room with Julia Roberts?
I had the biggest crush on that woman.
I'm a big. You said Ethan Hawke?
Yeah,
I'm
that new movie on Netflix.
Bruh.
Yeah, Leave the World Behind.
I'm a big Ethan Hawke fan.
Fantastic.
I like Sinister is one of my favorite horror movies ever, dude.
Purge.
Sinister is Purge. Like, oh my God. Like, I like Boyhood.
Look, he's so good.
He's
tremendous.
I
interviewed them together for that movie. And my whole goal is I'm trying to put the viewer in my shoes and allow them to experience this moment like through me. That's what I like to think my connection is. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
No, but it's something as simple as that is what makes it connect easily.
I'm just trying to bring them along on the ride with me.
That's selfless,
and that's
bro.
something that's simple as that is what we look for. We don't, we like. I think there's something to the interviewer not being as knowledgeable like the viewer is. Like you are going in there with you've done your research, but you're still learning things like the viewer is.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Yeah.
We're both learning it as we're in real time.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's that connection right there. It doesn't feel like, oh, I know everything about you. I'm the expert. Like, I'm going to talk about your stats and all. Like, no, you're letting the person being interviewed tell the stats. And, you kind of branch it and you guide them there, but they're going to tell it to you.
And there's something that's so relatable about everyone's story, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're a pro wrestler, you're an actor, you're a comedian, you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, there's something in there that everybody can relate to. And it's going to be different things for different people. My goal every time is to pull those little nuggets out so that somebody who's struggling with something that lives, 5,000 miles away can go, oh man, the way that I just interviewed Sammy Guevara earlier today, the way that Sammy said that thing, made me completely change my opinion on this, or made me chase after that thing that I was scared to do. That's really my goal.
It probably made them change their opinion on Sammy Guevara too.
Hopefully. Yeah, we had a great chat.
Yeah. And like, cause the way the era we're in, media can tell perspective.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh!
No, that's a catch. That's catch.
Oh, it is a cat.
That's
wow.
Puka Nacua.
Wow.
I love a quarterback that ain't afraid to throw that thing deep.
If you're watching at home, it's the third quarter, 14:40 left.
Literally the first play of the third quarter. That's a catch.
Wow. That's one of the greatest catches of the year.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, run the play. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
All right, back on track.
Let me grab some F3.
You know what? I'm going to get a little sip on that too. I got another way we can transition.
Ooh, baby.
Damn, bro. So
Inside jokes.
You nasty. So great things that's going on in the world right now. I feel like the biggest thing that just crashed the internet and blew up YouTube last week, we got GTA 6 coming, bro. Are you a GTA guy? Probably, yes.
I played the first one, however long ago that was.
Like the eagle eye view with the dots as bullets flying around.
But that's the lot. I don't play a lot of video games anymore.
My dog said journalism, bro. That's what I'm about.
Man,
I don't have time anymore.
But
it's such a time suck.
But like that was like the time when they were on the phone, like on the payphone.
Yes.
Y'all remember that?
Do we think GTA 6 is actually going to come out?
Oh, it better.
It better.
You don't give me a trailer, have all this mind-blowing content on it, amazing graphics, interesting characters that I may meet, I may not. Put all these NPCs on a beach and then tell me 2025 and not come out.
The best thing about the GTA 6 trailer was all the memes that were like, in the time that you like told us it was going to come out, all of these things have happened.
Yep.
Like this is more likely to happen than this, like than GTA 6 coming out. That's probably the best thing about it.
The best thing is like look, it's just like Miami. Then like 2025 hits, it's like, we don't do that no more. Just give me something new.
What's TikTok?
Yeah. Like,
Why is it taking so long to come out though? Like, what's the problem here?
that game is huge.
Sure.
It's going to be huge.
But haven't they been talking about it for
10 years? Yeah. Absolutely 10 years. It'll be 11 years by the time it comes out. 12 years.
Wow.
12 years. It took them 10 years to give us a minute-long trailer.
Wow.
Think about that. It won't be playable for 8 months.
Nah.
Yeah, but that's how long it better be. That's how long it takes to beat the game. You better be busy playing the game by the time
That's it.
I'm like, yo, bro, I already bought all the property. I sold some shit. You just got to what's the name? Shit, I killed him 60 hours ago.
It's gonna take 7 years to get like downloadable content. And everybody they're gonna put out is like, oh, dude, that dude was like popping like 8 years ago. Like, dude's a granddad now, bro. Like,
Yeah, they got Blueface in the game. Is Blueface gonna be popping in 2025? Yeah, but you heard about the guy that hacked the game, right?
No, what? No.
He got a life sentence.
What?
He just came out today. He got a life sentence for hacking the game and releasing the
What?
trailer. Yeah, he got a life sentence.
and that man said, I'll do it again. If I get out. He stood on business, as they say.
No, like, I'm not putting a dude who can hack the game, like a game that hasn't even come out yet, by the way, hack the game in prison. I'm like, he's gonna release all these prison doors, man.
Yeah, don't you feel like the government should just hire him instead?
Yeah, I'm like, give him a job.
Yeah.
He would have been solved Tupac case.
Like, no, screw that. You going on Suicide Squad, bro? You gonna help out?
Seriously.
Yeah, you gonna help out homegirl, homeboy? You like what's his name? He's literally up there in my figure. Bloodsport. You gonna help him out and all that? Like, that's one thing. Give these people a job. What you gonna put a video game hacker in a life sentence for?
I feel like that person could be doing so much good. You know, I mean, they clearly already did. They hacked the game.
He was like, we got to release the trailer now because this guy. Because Marvin over here just decided to just
Marvin.
goddamn Marvin. What's going on with cinema nowadays, man? I'm hearing it's a really, really bad time for like not just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but like just cinema. Period.
Well, I think that like there is some of the best films being made. Period. Right now, but the problem I think is a lot of people don't want to go to the theaters. You know, we were so spoiled.
Oh.
I think during the pandemic, we got really spoiled, right? With
For sure.
It's all right there. Click a button and it happens. But nothing beats the theatrical experience. Like nothing. There's very few times in our life when you put the phone down and you just are present and you just connect. This is actually one of them. A podcast is actually one of the very few examples where you just put the phone down and you're just like present in that
talking.
Right.
Yeah.
And I going to the movies is another one where you just sit there and for 2.5 hours, whatever it happens to be, you're just immersed in this story.
Do you think 2.5 hours is a lot to ask for people nowadays?
I think 3.5 hours for Killers of the Flower Moon is a lot. It's a great movie. But
Scorsese said, "Nah, B, you sitting down and watching all this Leo." You watched all of it?
Like same with Oppenheimer is a beautifully shot film, but
6.5 hours for 2 movies.
That's crazy.
My friend Kevin McCarthy, who does some of the best film interviews on the planet, he's like wears it as a badge of honor. He's like, yeah, man, I've seen Oppenheimer 8 times, 24 hours of my life. I'm like, plus driving to the theater, plus watching the trailers. Like,
Brother,
dude.
man.
No, Kevin McCarthy. Oh, Chris Gore is great too. I love Chris Gore. But yeah, Kevin's like, I'm going to see it like 4 more times before it leaves theaters. 2
movies is the same as like 1 season of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. I'm like, but those are all like my mom. She's been staying with me. Has every intention of watching the Killers of the Flower Moon
in one shot.
Dude,
that's another problem, right? People will watch half an hour and go to bed, watch an hour tomorrow, and then go to work or whatever. That's not how movies are supposed to be watched.
I watched the Snyder Cut in one sitting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got COVID that day, but
Oh, there you go.
So I was like, orange juice and Snyder. Looks good.
Yeah.
That was the most connected I've ever been to what's his name? No, the character. Cyborg.
Oh.
That was the most connected I've ever been to Cyborg. Like, that's Teen Titans Go, all of it. Like, that was the most connected I've ever been to that man.
Yeah. Poor Cyborg. That movie really messed with him.
Oh yeah. Like what was the after? Like what happened to him afterwards?
I don't know. Just like there should have been more. Like
But they gave it. But it's like it came out a year and a half later.
Yeah.
Something about Batman killing people. Still.
Yeah, he was going ham.
It's like there's a lot of explosions.
Are you talking about the Batman?
No, Ben Affleck, man.
Ben Affleck
was killing people.
Ben Affleck was depressed, but he was
man
out
was
there
murking people.
Who do you think
killing cats?
Who do you think's the best Batman? And not Batman, not Bruce Wayne. We'll do a separate category for Bruce Wayne.
You got to separate them. Or do you?
No, you do.
Do you got to separate them, or do you got to put them together?
Here's where I'm coming from.
Oh, brother.
Christian Bale is a fantastic Bruce Wayne. And he's a good Batman, but I think that the way that Ben Affleck played Batman was a better Batman, but not a good Bruce Wayne.
It was too much CGI with that Batman, though. There was way too much CGI for that Batman.
Yeah.
That suit, that cape wasn't there.
That suit was pretty cool, though. I don't know.
He was all big. He was huge.
Yeah, he was. I wasn't a fan of.
He was big.
Of Ben as Bruce.
Yeah.
More than I was when he was Batman, because when he was Bruce, that dude dead ass was depressed.
So,
the whole
that's true.
What about Robert Pattinson's Batman was incredibly depressed. He was emo Batman.
Oh yeah.
But he was.
But you know what killed me with him when he took the mask off? He still had the eye makeup
But
on.
that makes sense, right? But
it made him like.
But that's how it would actually.
He's back to Edward now, though. He went back to Edward when
he went in the sun. He wasn't twinkling. So.
But even when he saw the sun, he was like, "Oh,
no." The new Batman kind of got to grow on me. He's dope, but he kind of got to grow on me.
Yeah, I'm not there with him yet.
I'm not there yet.
Go ahead.
My problem with Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne was I think Bruce Wayne's supposed to be like this larger than life playboy. Like he's supposed to be like Elon Musk. Like he walks into a party and you're like, We're at a party with Bruce Wayne?
Wayne.
That's crazy.
Hey guys,
Who's going to try to hook up with him?
There was
here?
some charisma to him,
Yeah.
you know, like.
And I get that Robert Pattinson was playing a very early version as he was trying to figure out who he was.
Yeah, he lost his dog.
My man felt like it was like Kurt Cobain playing damn Batman. It was like,
sure.
Like,
Yeah.
he just come
Like-
from a My Chemical Romance concert.
Very, yeah.
And I love MCR, but I'm just saying.
The cops see Bruce Wayne. He's like, he's almost as depressing as Batman. Like,
But dude, he was a great Batman. He was like,
I think the movie was good. That was honestly probably one of the best Gotham cities I've seen
oh yeah,
on camera.
Yeah.
I've honestly
Matt Reeves
felt
did a great job with that
I
world.
have to tell Alfred this story. The city is under siege.
Well, well, do you prefer that or do you prefer? I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Swear to me.
That's my favorite line. I'm not wearing hockey pads.
Oh, absolutely crazy, bro. Bro, there's no middle ground with him. Like Christian Bale, like the greatest, like great Bruce Wayne. Because like, there's no middle ground either. Like he's really depressed, or like really, or the Batman's like really like overhyped on damn.
It hurts my throat doing that.
You sound like you on my podcast.
Yo, oh my God.
I'm like, sorry, I'm here. How long do you want me to go? I got to do Full Gear tomorrow.
Oh,
No, hey, I don't think
I
we
wish
get.
we'd done that interview after Full Gear because my goodness.
Oh yeah, we haven't talked. I'm about to say we haven't talked since then about the.
Oh my god!
yeah.
Well, I texted you and I was like, "That match was crazy, bro."
I wanted to be like, I told you we're gonna push the limit a little bit.
But there was that one moment where like the barbed wire came off the bat a little bit.
I didn't know it was. I swung it and I thought it was in his hair, so I just kept it there. I'm like,
Oh,
and then it was later back. I watched it on Twitter. I was like, oh, it was on his eye and his nose. Good,
Yo. Yo, I swear to God, I
Yeah.
wish I would have recorded my kid's face watching it.
Oh.
'Cause they just know
you
him.
let your kids watch that.
They just know him as Uncle Swerve. That's all they know. So they don't know. They know that's the first time. Well, not my son, but my daughter's first time actually watching him wrestle. So this is our first time really sitting. We're sitting there. My grandma's used to watching it. She sees him get beat up all the time and beat people up, so she's good with it. Even though she walked out the room a couple times when it got too gory, I was like, "Grandma, come here and watch this. This ain't nothing new."
Uncle Swerve will cut a bitch.
But so my kids are like, we're watching the computer, and I'm sitting there. And for me, I didn't see my dog go in, so this is like normal for me. But for they're like, is he all right? My daughter's like, Dad, I was like,
Man, that one moment was wild.
There was several moments in
Yeah.
that, man. And that's like kind of what we wanted. We wanted moments, and that's what we do this for.
What did
That's
the
we
5-star rating mean to you?
create. It kind of felt like, all right, here, because it was like, because he's been,
damn, man.
There's your quote. There's your quote right there.
yeah, it was like, all right.
It's just interesting the way you
'cause
said it. Like, this isn't my
That's
style
what
of
I'm
match.
saying. I'm like, okay, so that's another thing. It was like, okay, a 5, like when he's on defense mode with 5 stars, when he gives them 7, 6, and all that stuff, which I love those matches too. They're fantastic. I don't want to take nothing away from anybody, because Will is like my dog. He is a freak of nature, and he's a once in a generation talent.
The best, yeah.
But he's killing me with the 35 stars in matches right now. You know, shout out to my dog. But like, when he goes on the defensive with the star ratings, it goes like, hey, this is just my opinion. It's just my opinion. You can think however you want. I'm just giving my opinion on the rating. It's just my opinion. It's my opinion. I'm Donald Trump now. I don't know what's going on. So
But
it's just my
5
opinion.
stars, like 5 out of 5 is perfect, right? Like if you write,
Supposedly. Now
Right.
the Richter scale's been broken.
it has.
But my thing is like, okay, if it's just your opinion, you said you didn't like this style of match and you didn't like it, so don't give it 5 stars.
And that's what I'm saying. If it's a 5 out of 5, quote unquote perfect rating,
even though I didn't like it, I'm like,
that's.
he's
yeah.
like, but I think he knows what would happen if he did give it less than 5. He would have got crucified by the fan base from that. That's my opinion. So Dave, you can rate it whatever you want. I'm like, thank you, but it still felt like a. All right, whatever.
It just bothers me that up until last month there was only one 5-star TNA match.
That That's
Come
why.
on.
That's why you calling good. You're calling good old Will for those.
Kurt Angle has 0 5-star matches.
That blows my mind. Like,
Yo,
and
Randy Orton has 0. Triple H has
Shawn
0.
and Taker's not. Yeah,
That was 4 3/4 stars. Shawn has 1, I think.
I don't even know which one.
I think it was the
Iron Man?
Razor.
Oh, the ladder match. Okay,
Yeah.
but yeah. So like, I don't care about him. It's cool, but my paycheck didn't go up any higher for it. You know,
If only it did, right?
You know, yeah. And the thing is that I'm proud about, like, it still got a lot of attention, whether it be 5 or 4.
Yeah.
It got the attention.
Oh, it was
and
best match of the night.
Oh, I appreciate that. You know, and like,
course.
and shout out to Hangman. Like, just he's another freak of nature that we don't give enough credit to. You know, I wanted to kill him that night, and I think I succeeded. But yeah, he's just a hoss of a man, and he's agile as hell for how big he is, how smooth he is, how like just he has a motor on him, and he's also a very he's a very emotional person and character, and I feel like you got both sides of that in that match, which is very hard to do when, like, you know, they're bleeding all over the place, and like not to freak out, because like imagine you seeing like your shirt just covered in blood and it's your blood, you know, and you're just like, that's, and your anxiety kind of rises with stuff like that. Like, the normal person isn't supposed to just be constantly actively moving, you know. Now, imagine like you're bleeding from your forehead and Matt Stafford still having to throw the football and play the game like that. You know, that's not normal. So like to control that thing mentally, and like, you know, there's a lot of things can go wrong. Thank God I'm still alive here. That still did a tournament afterwards.
So
Jesus
much
Christ.
respect for you guys. Does anything on you hurt right now from that?
I got some scratches and scrapes.
Okay.
You know, and but
You're not like, you don't have something stuck in your elbow still, or
maybe I haven't gone through an X-ray in a while, so you know. But yeah. Any movies you're looking forward to seeing? Yeah, you know, 2024 is coming soon.
So, well, as we're recording this right now, Iron Claw's out this weekend.
Yes, it is.
And that's going to be something every wrestling fan's going to want to go out and see. The in-ring wrestling in the Iron Claw is the best you will see. Interception is the best you will see in any movie ever. And that's a testament to...
Just from the trailers, I'm like, oh, they were actually getting physical. It looks good. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that part of it.
That's a testament to, obviously, the hard work that Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, the rest of the cast put in.
Great cast.
But Chavo Guerrero is the guy in Hollywood when it comes to cast, or to
he's the one you call
wrestling
on.
Choreography. He's so good.
He's been called on to do
Young Rock.
Glow,
Yep.
Young Rock.
Yeah. And then he does like any wrestling you see in a commercial.
Yep,
They're
that's
calling him. Yep.
That's like that. Yo, shout out to him and everything he's been doing with that. That's a great legacy to continue.
Yeah.
Especially as the Guerrero family. You know, that's awesome. Because now that's to me, that's a crossover.
Oh yeah.
That's a big
Absolutely.
crossover appeal.
And that career will end up being bigger than his wrestling career, and that is saying a lot.
That's huge, but to me his wrestling career was still big.
Of course, but he's going to be able to do this till he's 90 years old. Right?
Even if he can't physically get in the ring anymore, he's still going to be able to like direct from a side. You know, so shout out to him for that position. Like you know, he a guy that deserves it. The family, the legacy, all of it.
And bringing such a realism of like of what you guys do.
Yes.
To every project that he works on. Incredible.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to MJF getting his 10 seconds in there too.
Is that public now?
It is now.
He recorded, filmed a lot of scenes. MJF, I know, filmed a lot of scenes.
MJF
that
is
were
doing
cut.
his thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, just having he got that executive producer. He snaked his way in there. He snaked his way. He finds a
That
way.
went down the wrong way. I was laughing as I was swallowing it. Oh, you're trying to kill me.
Yeah, man. Also,
there we go.
We've had you for a while, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You're like, it'll be like 40 minutes, and here we are, an hour and 40 minutes into it, or whatever.
We had to talk
Sorry,
about MJF
guys.
in the movie, man.
We did.
We had to. I had to.
One scene.
Man, if you guys have not got any information, you guys that are, you know, doing your podcast with your 2 subscribers, if you have not gotten any feedback from this goat here,
Your
man,
2 subscribers.
your 2 subscribers and 30
Heel
views,
turn.
you know, if you guys have not got any game from this legend
I'm
here,
saying,
man,
bro.
the top guy in the game with the interviews,
Oh, wow.
please, listen to this. This guy gave a lot of information. And, man, you are the man doing this, brother.
Yes.
And
Get your 3 months uploaded video with 37 views up. Let's go.
let's go, man.
Come on, bro.
And got the nerve to be requesting interviews, requesting guests. Got the nerve.
Got the nerve to critique another show. It's like, shut your ass.
Just film more
Got
content.
the nerve to be sending emails trying to get people on that show.
If there's
more
I'm about to say
content.
if there's a something you can offer somebody like
Film more
that's
content.
film more.
Film more. Produce more content. I probably put out, I don't know, 120, 130 pieces of content a month.
Woo!
Like I posted this thing, the CVV Clips channel
Yeah.
has been doing very well. It is. It's eclipsed my main channel, and I'm really proud of. There it is. There it is. I'm very proud of how well that channel's doing. And I put out.
Go to your mama. Yeah. Hell yeah. Game ball.
They send you like all your numbers, like a recap for the year.
Right.
And it was like this many subscribers, this many views. But the number I was most proud of was there was like 1,100 and something uploads. And I was like, that's like 3 a day, every day. And I was like, the other 2 numbers, the subscribers and the views, don't happen if that one number isn't that number.
You know what's cool about that? Like, you're not even looking at the total. You're just going. You're not focusing on, like, that's how you run races. You don't look to the side. You don't look behind.
Yeah.
You just keep going forward.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, you look up one day and you're like, oh, that's like almost 10,000 hours of content. There's like, then you're like, wait, oh, snap. We're at like 50,000 subscribers? Wow.
And I'm not saying everybody needs to post 1,100 pieces of content a year. But what I'm saying is if you post 50, maybe try posting 55 and see what happens. Try
Right.
doubling it and see what happens.
But also understand, this is what you're competing with. Understand. There's levels to this shit.
I'm going to turn it up next year, baby.
Oh,
You're
see?
going to see.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
want to
Like,
be the #1 wrestling podcast in the world.
if you aren't already,
I think I'm number 2 or 3 maybe right now on the charts. Yeah.
does that eat at you?
No, it's been a journey, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just keep climbing.
Okay.
And then I
Chris,
know I'm gonna,
let it fester. Let it fester. Let it
fester.
Let it
By the way,
heel turn, Chris.
Val Kilmer, very underrated Batman.
George Clooney?
Worst Batman. Bottom of the barrel.
Not good.
Bottom.
Man,
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm still a
The
Keaton guy.
nipple Batman.
Nipple-
yeah. Nipple suit. Yeah, well, we've been all over the place here.
Batman credit card. Kills me. Batman skates. I rewatched it again. It gets worse every time you watch it.
Wow.
Is that Sub-Zero or is that Arnold playing somebody in the cold?
It is.
The Ice Age.
Is that
That looked like, he looked like a Power Ranger villain, bro. I'm like, this is in the wrong universe.
I rewatch the opening scene of The Dark Knight like probably monthly. It's
It's
good.
fantastic.
Oh my god.
It's fantastic.
Christopher Nolan is a genius.
I'm like, this shouldn't be so.
Right?
I'm like,
well, it's Heat, right? And I don't know if everyone like puts 2 and 2 together. It's Heat. It's the movie Heat.
that's what superhero movies are nowadays. They're just like,
Right?
like, yeah.
And
They just short. They
even got William Fichtner to be in it. They're like,
That's true.
Right?
Oh, that's good.
Yo, I have a confession to make.
Oh boy.
you and your friends are dead.
While we're talking about movies here, I haven't brought this up. I keep forgetting every time we're on the podcast.
Oh, I'm nervous.
I have to say this. I'm scared. I think Hulk is done, man. I think Hulk is done.
Oh yeah, he's done.
I think
He's
after
washed.
the way Thanos beat his ass, you cannot recast him to be strong.
Yo, he got 2-pieced in 2
like
minutes.
like
Pop, pop, pop.
that man is a muscular scientist now. It is over, bro.
But like, no, like,
The multiverse, though. The multiverse.
multiverse, my ass. I seen it.
dog.
But come on, bro. The credits didn't even come up yet. Even out of there. Like, okay, all right. the one thing that Hulk is supposed to be great at. This is his one thing. Hulk smash. He got smashed. Like
Yo, he got his ass whipped.
I was like, you're good for nothing now. We just need Bruce now. Bruce can save us. Hulk can't do shit.
Dog.
Yeah, she was out jumping jacks in them. She was out yoga in them. I'm like, all right, man, you got.
Oh, you're talking about Bruce Banner. I was thinking.
No, like Hulk. Hulk.
Oh,
yeah.
There's no more Hulk.
Yeah,
It's Bruce.
yeah. No, it's Miss Ruffalo now. It's not even Bruce. It's Mark, bro. With his fourth wall broken.
May God bless my brother, man.
Yeah, he's out of here.
Rest in peace, Hulk. It's a wrap.
Yeah, have you seen these Young Avengers?
Oh.
You haven't seen? Oh, it's like they're setting up the universes with all the shows and stuff, and there's all the new young generation kids, and I'm like, all these kids is washed. All these like what?
All I watch now is YouTube and TikTok.
Me too.
When people are like, "What TV shows do you watch?" I'm like, I mean, other than wrestling, I turn on Shark Tank sometimes.
Cable dead, champ.
Yeah, truth be told, the best superhero content is the animated stuff.
Yeah,
that's been the best.
I'm not watching a lot of TV. I just want to make content.
You know? Yeah, he's like, I watch it. I can make it. I
want to make content.
Yeah, I can make something better than this.
I don't know about that.
At this point, yes, you can. You can make something better than what's it called?
Bro.
The Marvels. You can do something better than that.
Your arm must be tired. You've been holding it the whole time.
70 episodes, Chris.
She got a monopod.
70 episodes, Chris. He's been great.
Hey, man, my dog got a lot of practice. His left hand strong.
Oh! And we gonna leave it off here. We gotta close with that one.
Wow.
I love you,
Chris.
son.
Where can we find you, sir? Where can we find you?
If you're watching this on YouTube, go check out my main channel. It's just Chris Van Vliet, CVV Clips. And then I'm at Chris Van Vliet on all social media. And then what will soon be the #1 wrestling podcast in the world.
That's right. Turn it
right
tell
here.
him,
2024, we go
is
#1.
Insight with Chris Van Vliet.
That's right, brother. Tell him.
Be confident in everything you do.
Wash your ass.
And do your homework. And post more content, bitch.